Hello, guys. Hope we are all doing well, great, and wonderful. What do we have today? Today, we have, or in this video or tutorial, we have something wonderful that we want to share with our audience. And what is that? It's all about these ride hailing apps we have. Sometimes we have trouble identifying the apps for drivers and the app for riders. So in this video or tutorial, we are learning all the apps that are active in Ghana now that drivers and riders must be using. So these are the apps that are most popular. That is the Shaxi, Yango, Boat, Uber, and many more. But let's look at the apps that the driver must use in order to receive ride and apps that the passenger must use in order to request for ride. There are many, as I said, but some are active and some are inactive. So let's look at the active ones. There are 8 or 9 that we are coming to look at the differences between them. So first of all, we have Bobo. And these apps we are talking of are all available on either the Play Store or the Apple App Store. So you can locate or find each and every apps we are coming to talk about on either the Play Store or on the Apple Store. So let's start with Bobo, and we are going alphabetically. Bobo has 2 apps, one for driver and one for rider. The rider app has an orange background with a Bobo written on it. So the rider's app is orange background with white inscription written on it. And we have the Bobo driver, which has the white background, but they've used orange to write on it. So the difference is that one, the driver's app is having a driver under it, whilst the rider's app only has Bobo on it. And secondly, also, the rider's app has an orange background, and the driver's app has a white background. So this is the difference between the Bobo ride and the Bobo driver's app. Let's move on to Boat. Boat has 2 apps also, which are all available on either the Apple or the Google Play Store. With the driver's app, you can see it has a white background, whilst the rider's app has a green background. And the rider's app, they've used a white ink to write Boat on it, whilst the driver's app has a blue Boat written. And sometimes too, the driver's app, there is a small driver's written beneath it. So the driver's or the rider's app has a green background, whilst the driver's app has a white background with a blue Boat written on it, whilst the rider's app has a white Boat written on it. The next one is Phoenix. It looks like the app is similar or the same, because both the rider and the rider and the driver's app all has the same design and the same background. The rider's app has a white background with something like eagle wings black, and the driver's app also has a white background with a black with eagle wing. But the only difference you can see between the rider's app and the driver's app is where in between the square there is a white arrow. That is the rider's, and the driver's has a black arrow. Also, the rider's app, the only thing written on it is Phoenix, whilst the driver's app has Phoenix driver. So for you not to be deceived or not to see the difference between them, you can see that all has a white background, and also their eagle symbol is still the same black, a yellow square, and the difference is the driver's app has a black arrow whilst the rider's app has a white arrow. And also the rider's app, there is only Phoenix written on it, and the driver's app, there is Phoenix drivers written on it. The next one is Little. Little came not long ago, but it's making waves. It's a Kenyan app. And these are the difference between the two apps. You can see the rider's app being drawn or imaged as B, and the driver's app as D. So the whole thing about the rider's app is it has a zero. All the background is black. The background for the riders and the drivers is black. But the only difference are this. It has a zero yellow background, whilst the driver's app has a blue symbol. And where the B is, we have green, blue, and red. Green, blue, and red. Whilst the driver's app has blue, red, and green. Green, blue, and red. And the drivers also have blue, red, and green. So these are the differences. And we have Shagzy. Shagzy, it's time to ride. Brought to us by our own Das Hawking Shak Tawali. It's a local app which has two apps also. One for riders and one for drivers. Let's look at the differences between the driver's app and the rider's app. Okay, so the rider's app has a white background, whilst the driver's app has a blue background. The Shagzy is written in blue for the riders. So the riders have white background and the Shagzy is written in blue, whilst the driver's app, the Shagzy app is in blue background, and they've using a white ink to write the Shagzy. And what will make it easy for drivers is it has a white drivers indicated on it. So the riders only have Shagzy, meanwhile the driver's app has Shagzy driver. The next one is the black ride. The black ride. Black ride also has two apps, one for drivers and one for riders. Which one is for riders and which one is for drivers? The one with the white background is for riders, whilst the black background is for drivers. Let's look at the difference between the two apps. As we can all see, the riders app has a white background, whilst the drivers app has a black background. For you to differentiate between them, the black ride for the riders, the black ride for riders is written in black, meanwhile for drivers is written in white. So for their trademark, we have a car which is black for riders and white for drivers. And the location is also in black for riders and white for drivers. And they have the Wi-Fi symbol, which is red, yellow, green, as in Ghana's color. We have the Uber. Uber also has two apps. They look familiar and similar, but let's look at the difference. It's easy and simple, which is they all have black background with white ink written on it. So the driver's app has an arrow. That is the only difference between the rider's app and the driver's app. The driver's app has an arrow. The arrow indicates the driver's app, whilst the rider's app only has the Uber symbol or inscription written on it. And finally, we have Yango. Sometimes Yango app confuses because they've done two updates, if I'm not wrong, with the driver's app. The first one was the gold. After that, they introduced the gray, and now they are using the Yango Pro. So one difference between the rider's app and the driver's app is the rider's app has only Yango written on it, and the driver's app has Yango Pro. Yango Pro. So let's look at other differences between the driver's app and the rider's app. One is that the Yango or the driver's app has a white background, whilst the rider's app has a red background. The rider's app also, they've used a white ink to write the Yango on the app, whilst the driver's app, the Yango Pro is written in red. So that is the difference. As I said earlier on, all the apps being mentioned over here are the ones that are being used in Ghana, and they are the most popular ones. We know that when you request for ride, you get it easily, and they are convenient and affordable. Since we know the difference between all these apps, we can now choose whether you would be a driver or a rider. Because if you don't know the difference between the apps and you download any one of them, you would not know what or which one to use to request for a ride. And when you are a driver, you wouldn't know which one to be using to accept trips. So I hope that this will help us in the quest for requesting and the quest for accepting trips. Kindly subscribe to this channel, like this video, comment and share so that your friends can also have the knowledge on the apps that we have and the difference between them, so that all of us, when we want to request ride, we will not suffer. And as drivers also, we will not be in a situation or we will not suffer in order for us to get the right app to work with. As again, don't forget to turn on the post notification and always come back for more. Thanks for always watching our videos. Thanks once again and kindly subscribe.